Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today is the most wonderful day. It's the auspicious day of the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, the golden avatar of Lord Krishna, or the hidden incarnation. Devotees worship Lord Chaitanya and they sing Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tashe Namaha. Translation: O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. So Lochana Das Thakur, an exalted devotee, sings Parama Karuna Pahui Doi Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra. Translation: the two lords Nitai Gaura Chandra are very merciful. So we understand that Lord Chaitanya, who is the golden form of Krishna, he is non-different to Krishna himself. He's Krishna who appeared in this age of Kali just 500 years ago. And he is known as the hidden incarnation because when he appeared, only his close associates knew that he was the Supreme Lord. He did not disclose his identity as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He actually came in the form of a devotee, so not in the form of the Supreme Lord, who is the creator and maintainer of the universe, but he came in the form of a devotee, worshipping himself. We'll see later on why he came in this form. But it is said, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 4.7, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrajamyaham. So Bhagavad Gita 4.7. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 3.6, it is said that the Lord, once in a day of Brahma, so once every 4.3 billion years, the Lord descends to this world to manifest his transcendental pastimes. So Lord Chaitanya was a hidden incarnation. He was not openly declaring that he is Krishna. But how do we know that he is the Supreme Lord himself? So many people may ask, so how do you know that if he's appearing in the form of a devotee, that he is the Supreme Lord himself? Well, we know that because we read about all his amazing activities, which are which are not possible for a human being. When we read about his pastimes compiled by exalted devotees such as Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, but the most important, it is mentioned in so many Vedic literatures about the advent of Lord Chaitanya and his mission. And so we've got so many, about 10 of them, like Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra from Mahabharata mentions also the Garuda Puran, the Nrsimha Puran, Padma Puran, Narada Puran, Bhavishya Puran, Vaya Puran, Matsya Puran, Skanda Puran, all mention the advent of the Lord. So because we're restricted for time, we cannot look at all the verses. We'll just look at 3 verses, one from the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the holy name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. In the Adi Puran, there is a verse that goes, "O best of the Brahmins, my disguised form is eternal. In this way, with my own form hidden from ordinary sight, I take the form of a devotee and appear among the people in general in order to establish and protect religious principles." Another verse in the Upa Puran translation as follows: "O Brahmin, I occasionally take the sannyas ashram in an attempt to bring the fallen people of Kali Yuga to take up the path of bhakti or devotional service to Lord Krishna." So we can see that we can understand the mission of the Lord here, that in the fallen age of Kali, he comes up to teach us, as a devotee, he comes to teach us how to carry out devotional service to Lord Krishna. We'll look at that in more detail later on. But continuing about a little introduction on Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya is a merciful incarnation of the Lord. He's come to do what no other incarnation of the Lord has done so far. He has come to give freely to everyone, irrespective of whether we're qualified or not. He has come to give us the most precious jewel of all, Krishna Bhakti, love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the ultimate perfection of all of life, perfection of religion. So he has taken on the mood and role of Sri Radharani to understand her love for Krishna. So this is one of the reasons, the external reasons that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has mentioned in his Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Krishna wants to understand the love of Srimati Radharani towards him. Because Krishna is the supreme object of all worship and love from Srimati Radharani, he cannot understand what she feels when she loves him and when she worships him, when we all worship Krishna. What is the feeling? So Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj says, Lord Krishna is the reservoir of transcendental loving transactions with Srimati Radharani. The subject of these loving transactions is the Lord himself, and Srimati Radharani is the object. So the Lord wanted to relish the loving mellow in the position of Srimati Radharani. The second reason for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, or the external reason that is mentioned, is for Krishna to understand the transcendental mellow of himself. So Lord Krishna is all sweetness, and Srimati Radharani's attraction for Krishna is sublime. So in order to experience that attraction, understand the transcendental sweetness of himself, he accepted the mentality of Radharani. Another reason mentioned here by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was we've already mentioned that that the Lord Chaitanya wanted to enjoy the bliss tasted by Radharani. So Srimati Radharani felt more transcendental pleasure in the company of Krishna than he could understand without taking her position. So Srimati Radharani is the pleasure potency of the Lord. Srimati Radharani and Krishna, Krishna is the energetic, and Srimati Radharani is the energy, and they are non-different. But Krishna wanted to appear accepting the emotions and bodily luster as Srimati Radharani in order to understand all of these matters. Also, we'll see that Lord Chaitanya appeared in response to the call of his devotee Advaita Acharya, but he also came to preach the significance of chanting Hare Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya came to give us this amazing mantra, which is a Maha Mantra called the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Krishna himself, in the form of Lord Chaitanya, came to give us this mantra so that we can go back to Godhead. It's called the Yuga Dharma of this age of Kali, is to chant the holy names of the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya came to teach this to us in the form of a devotee, because we learn best when somebody not just gives us instructions, but if somebody demonstrates these instructions and teaches us, we can learn faster and better. So Lord Chaitanya came in the form of a devotee to teach us how to chant the holy name and how to worship Krishna. So he came as a loving devotee of Krishna. Obviously when the Lord appears in this planet, he appears to a mother and a father. So he appeared as the second son of Srimati Sachi Devi and Father Jagannath Mishra. He had a younger brother, Vishwarup, who was an expansion of Lord Balaram. Lord Chaitanya is known by many beautiful names. Lord Gauranga, Gaurahari, because of his beautiful golden complexion, and Srimati Radharani. Sachinandana, Nimai, Vishwambhara, Nimai, because he appeared under our name tree. Sachinandan, the son of Mother Sachi. Lord Chaitanya appeared in Navadvip, West Bengal, in India, 500 years ago. And he's called Vishwambhara because he floods the world with the nectar of devotion and thus saves the living beings. So Lord Chaitanya is merciful incarnation of Lord Krishna, and he spreads love of God. Whether one is qualified or not, he does not consider that. He is the most merciful incarnation of the Lord. He has done what no other incarnation of the Lord has done. He has freely given to everyone, irrespective of qualifications. He has given the greatest benediction of all, which is love of Godhead. Krishna Prem. So let us touch on Lord Chaitanya's appearance. So Lord Chaitanya, we said, one of the reasons why he appeared is because he wanted to answer the call of his great devotee, Sri Advaita Acharya. Sri Advaita Acharya, he felt very pained to see people without Krishna consciousness in the age of Kali. People were immersed in material activities and people had forgotten about bhakti. People were not worshipping, they were just involved in sense gratification and hence suffering in this material world. So as we know, Vaishnavas are so compassionate and cannot bear to see others suffer. So Lord Advaita, who is none other than Sadashiva and Lord Vishnu combined, actually, he felt very pained to see people. So he worshipped the Supreme Lord Krishna with offerings of tulsi leaves and Ganga water. He offered to his Shalagram Shila every day. He prayed for Lord Chaitanya to descend to deliver the fallen souls of this age. And being very pleased with his worship, Lord Chaitanya appeared. And when he appeared, there was a lunar eclipse. It was on the full moon Purnima day. And at that time, there was a lunar eclipse. So the Vedic system is that when an eclipse comes, you become contaminated. Jai Pataka Maharaj writes in his Gauranga book. So the Hindus go to a sacred river at that time and they chant the holy names of the Lord in order to counteract contamination. So almost the whole city of Navadvip was there on the banks of the river Ganga. People were taking a bath in the Ganga and they were chanting Govinda, Govinda, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. And even the Muslims who were inhabiting that region of Navadvip, they were watching and they were saying, what are these Hindus doing? They are chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol. They are chanting Hare Krishna. So although these Muslims did not have faith, still by saying this, they were also chanting. Somehow, by poking fun at the Hindus, they were chanting the holy name. So the whole atmosphere was spiritually surcharged. It was filled with the chanting of the holy name. And everyone was chanting. In this way, the whole town was filled with the holy name of Krishna coming from the Ganga. And that is the time when Lord Chaitanya made his appearance in this material world. So we have to understand here that the Supreme Lord he's not born like us. He is not forced to take the womb of a mother. His body is spiritual. It's non-different from himself, from his soul. So the Lord came in his transcendental body, and he came because he chose to come. He is not just an ordinary person. So at that time, when everyone was dancing in ecstasy, everyone was chanting, Lord Chaitanya appeared and gave his mercy. When he appeared, the moon was just rising, and the whole land of India was filled with the vibration of the holy name. So the Lord appeared first in the heart of his father Jagannath Mishra, and then he transferred to the mind, and then went into the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi. So even at the time the Lord appeared, he wanted everyone to take up this congregational chanting of the holy name. So when he appeared, it was happening. And even as a child, Nimai, he had this beautiful, sweet pastime where, as a baby, he would cry and he would cry and he wouldn't stop crying until the ladies would chant Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Immediately, Lord Chaitanya would stop crying and he would laugh and he would clap his hands. So everybody understood that was the secret. It was to chant Harinam to make the child stop crying. So in this way, the Lord would cry all the time, and all the ladies, to prevent him from crying, they would chant the holy name in this way. There was constant chanting, constant kirtan going on at Srimati Sachi Mata's house all the time. So actually the grandfather of Nimai, so we call him Nimai because he actually appeared under a name tray. So Nilambar Chakravarti, who is Nimai's maternal grandfather, did the name giving ceremony, and he named him Nimai Vishvambara. So let's take a look at the beautiful features of the Lord's body. So we know that Krishna is bluish black, the color of a monsoon fresh monsoon cloud, but he appeared in a golden complexion of Srimati Radhika. So he has a beautiful molten gold complexion, and he wears sandalwood on his broad forehead. He has beautiful lotus petal eyes, long arched eyebrows, reddish lips, and pearl-like white teeth. He has long arms reaching his knees, and he wears a beautiful knee-long flower garland around his neck. He has very strong shoulders, shaming the king of elephants, broad and full chest and slim waist. So this is the two-armed form of Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya also has a six-armed form, which he revealed to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, one of the elevated associates of the Lord. So we can see the beautiful six-armed form of Lord Chaitanya here. Two of them are greenish color, Lord Ram's arms. So in one hand we see a bow, in the other an arrow. And then we see his two hands as Krishna, bluish black, holding a flute. And then we see the golden arms in his form as Lord Chaitanya, as a sannyasi, holding a water pot in one hand and a long sannyasi rod, a danda, in his other hand. So it is very nice to meditate on these beautiful features of the Lord. So we mentioned that the associates of Lord Chaitanya, so Lord Chaitanya has associates. Whenever the Supreme Lord comes down to this earth, he never comes alone. He comes with his associates. So in order to enact his mission, which is to spread the congregational chanting of the holy name, he always appears with his associates. So we can see the expansions here. So number one, next to Lord Chaitanya's right hand is Lord Nityananda. So Lord Nityananda is none other than Balaram. And then number two, we see Advaita Acharya, who worshipped the Lord in order to ask him to descend. Advaita Acharya is actually a combination of Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. Number three, we can see Gadadhar Pandit, who is none other than Srimati Radharani. So Gadadhar Pandit is, we know that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna together with Srimati Radharani. But Srimati Radharani, it is mentioned by the Acharyas in the scriptures, she thought, oh, how will Krishna deal? He wants to relish what I feel when I chant his names, when I serve him. He wants to relish this ecstasy. He wants to know what it's like. But how will he deal with this? How will he deal with this extreme emotions that I feel? How will he deal with it alone? I should come. I should be there to help him. So Srimati Radharani appeared as Gadadhar Pandit. And number four is Srivas Thakur, Krishna's pure devotee, none other than Narad Muni. And so Lord Chaitanya is not worshipped alone. He's worshipped along with all his associates in the Pancha Tattva form. So Pancha means five and Tattva means truth. So devotees often sing Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So all the associates of Lord Chaitanya are worshipped together. So let's take a look at the mission of Lord Chaitanya. So, Lord Chaitanya, as we know, came in the form of a devotee to show us how to surrender to Krishna, how to be a good devotee, how to surrender, how to chant Hare Krishna. So 5,000 years ago, we know that Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And at that time, Krishna said, he gave instructions, and one of the most important instructions that Krishna gave, give up all religious duties and spiritual paths and simply surrender to me. So people have trouble understanding what this means. So Krishna is so merciful that he has come to teach us by his example, as in the form of a devotee, how to surrender to him. And he has given us the very, very simple method of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. He taught that the holy name of the Lord is the sound incarnation of the Lord. There is no difference between the holy name of Krishna and his transcendental form. So this is the difference between just a mundane sound and the sound of the Lord's holy name. When we utter a word, like let's say we want to say apple, we don't feel satiated like when we've eaten an apple. It's the word apple is different from an actual apple. But the Lord, Krishna's name, Krishna, is non-different from Krishna. So the Lord has invested all his potencies in his holy name. And when we say Krishna, Krishna is personally present there. He is present in his holy name. And we feel Krishna's presence and we feel the love from him. Such is the potency of the holy name, Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya, as we mentioned before, came to establish the Yuga Dharma, the religion for the age of Kali, which is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So the 16-syllable mantra is very easy for anyone of any age, any status, any gender. It's whether one is rich or poor. It's so simple. It's Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So in the previous video, I explained the meaning of this Maha Mantra. So Hare means we're calling out to Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of the Lord, the energy of the Lord, and we are invoking her. We're telling her, please, Srimati Radharani, please engage me in the loving service of Krishna. Krishna means all attractive Lord. So God, when people say God is all attractive. He attracts the hearts of every living entity by his beauty, by his activities, his pastimes. So hence the name Krishna, which means all attractive Lord. The term Hare, so Rama means pleasure, the one who gives all pleasure. So we know the Supreme Lord is the reservoir of all happiness, and when we connect to him, we automatically feel happy and satisfied. So Rama means one who gives pleasure, happiness. So Sri Panchatattva themselves danced again and again, and thus made it easier to drink nectarian love of Godhead. They danced, cried, laughed, and chanted like madmen, and in this way they distributed love of Godhead. So we know that the Supreme Lord, he comes for a few reasons. He comes in this on this earth to protect devotees, to annihilate the miscreants, and to re-establish the principles of religion. So he says in the Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he comes every millennium for these activities. So in the age of Kali, the Lord came, but he did not bring physical weapons with him. He did not bring his Sudarshan chakra. He came with a weapon, however, to annihilate the demoniac tendencies. So Lord Chaitanya, he did not come to kill demons like when Lord Krishna would kill so many demons. Trinavarta, Putana, he would kill with his weapons, with his hands, with his... He would actually kill the demons. But in this age of Kali, the Lord came with one very powerful weapon, and that was not his Sudarshan chakra. It was the weapon of the holy name. And he did not kill people, but he did not kill the demons, those who did not believe in God, those who were engaged in enjoying the senses and causing harm to the devotees. He did not come to kill these demons. He came to kill the demoniac tendency in these people by the weapon of the holy name. So this is most amazing feature of the Supreme Lord as Lord Chaitanya. So the life story of Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya, he could recite mantras and religious hymns at a very young age. He was a great scholar who could defeat even the experts. So nobody could defeat Lord Chaitanya in knowledge. He was just infallible. Nobody could defeat him. But when he was 16 years old, Lord Chaitanya started his own school even, and he would teach thousands of pupils Sanskrit poetry. He would debate on the scriptures. But then he took initiation by Sri Ishwarapuri, and since then he gave up his scholarly attitude, and he took to Bhakti Yoga. He started teaching Bhakti Yoga and chanting the holy names to his students. And at that time, people had the belief that we should not sing mantras loudly because the potency of the mantra gets reduced when you sing it aloud. So people at that time would not appreciate this. Some other scholars would actually tell him not to chant the holy name. They would say that this is not right. You should be a scholar. Why have you given up your scholarship, and why are you chanting the holy names of the Lord? But actually, we know that the holy name of the Lord is higher than scholarly knowledge. So he married Lakshmi Priya, who is none other than the goddess of fortune. And then she left this world, and at Mother Sachi's request, he married Vishnu Priya at the age of 20. And at the age of 24, Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. So Lord Chaitanya, he was a grihastha in the beginning, but then he took the renounced order of life. In order for people to take his instructions seriously, he took sannyas at the age of 24. So after accepting sannyas, Lord Chaitanya left Navadvip and he started living in Jagannath Puri, the holy city of Lord Jagannath in Orissa. So Lord Jagannath in Puri is also referred to as, Daru Brahma in the Purans, as the deities here are made from neem wood. So he stayed in Jagannath Puri for the final 24 years of his life. So this is just a little glimpse of Lord Chaitanya's life story. So Lord Chaitanya enacted so many beautiful nectarian pastimes that give so much pleasure to the heart. And as I've mentioned before, one can read all of these beautiful transcendental pastimes in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, or the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. But here are some of the childhood pastimes Lord Chaitanya. So on the left, we can see that there was the incidence of where demigods appeared and they gave Nimai an abhishek in the courtyard of Sachi Devi. And Nimai, he even started dancing, although he was too young to even walk. So that pastime was witnessed by Mother Sachi. And there was another incidence when Nimai was bedecked with beautiful shiny jewels, and he was sitting outside the house, and what happened is two notorious thieves happened to be passing by, and they saw this and they wanted to steal all the jewelry from Nimai. So they kidnapped him, trying to seduce him with some sweets. They kidnapped him and they took him away as quickly as they could. But they got illusioned by the Lord, and so instead of walking towards the forest where they were hoping to plunder Nimai of his jewelry, they actually got bewildered by the energy of the Lord, and so they came walking right back to the house of Nimai. And so when they realized what happened, they quickly put him down and ran away, because they didn't want anyone to know that they had done this bad deed. So he was kidnapped. Here we can see Nimai would have really very naughty pastimes, and he would eat the offerings made to deities by the Brahmins. Just like Krishna had many naughty pastimes to steal the heart of his devotees, in the same way Nimai would do the same. There is a very famous pastime here of Nimai and how he liberated a puppy. So once Nimai was out playing, and a little puppy got stranded from her mother, and so the puppy came to Nimai and sort of took shelter of him. So Nimai, being very compassionate, took the puppy home. Because if someone takes shelter of the Lord, he never abandons his devotees. So Nimai took the puppy home, but his mother didn't want the puppy to be kept in the house, and said that the puppy had to go. And somehow the puppy went away, but then because he'd been pet by Nimai, this puppy became ecstatic and started to chant the holy name, and he led a kirtan in the village, and everyone was so astonished to see how a puppy could chant Hare Krishna and dance, and this puppy then eventually went back to the spiritual world. And here we see a pastime where Nimai, when he was little, he was there in the courtyard, and at that time Anantashesh, who is the snake on which Lord Vishnu lies, so Anantashesh he desired to have Nimai lie on him, just as he does on the Shweta Dweep in the Milk Ocean. So Anantashesh appeared as this serpent. He came sliding on the ground, and he then coiled himself and made a little very, very comfortable bed for Nimai. And Nimai went up to, understanding the desires of Anantashesh, went up to the snake and lay on top of Anantashesh. Now, obviously, everyone around, they had no clue that the snake was not poisonous and it was not harmful. They were screaming. Mother Sachi, she's screaming and panicking. She thought, that's it. Nimai is going to be hurt by this. He's going to be bitten by the snake. So then, Ananda Shesh, when he saw that he was causing unnecessary distress to the pure devotees of the Lord, he slid away, and Mother Sachi picked up Nimai, feeling very relieved. So that was one pastime, and here is a pastime where Nimai ate dirt. So Nimai ate dirt, and his mother caught him, and there was a discussion between his mother and Nimai, philosophical discussion. So the Lord has unlimited pastimes, and unfortunately we cannot discuss all of these pastimes. But here's one very, very common pastime. It's called the Chandkazi pastime. So Chandkazi was actually a Muslim ruler, and people complained to him. People didn't like the chanting of the holy name on the streets. So as we know, Lord Chaitanya, he came to propagate congregational chanting. So chanting with instruments, everybody chanting loudly on the streets, playing karatals. So people, the Muslims, did not like that. They were thinking, oh, these devotees have gone crazy and they're disrupting the peace. So they complained to their ruler, and the ruler, he was very angry, and he asked his soldiers to go and break the mridangas and the drums and arrest devotees. So what happened is Lord Chaitanya came to know about this, and he was not very happy. He gathered a Sankirtan party, and all of the devotees carrying torchlights, doing Harinam Sankirtan went to the house of this Chandkazi, and they asked him to come out for a little discussion. When the Chandkazi came out, so he had a chat with Lord Chaitanya, and he revealed that actually in his dream the previous night, Lord Nrsingadev, who is the half lion, half human incarnation of Lord Krishna, had appeared in his dream and had threatened to kill him if he continued to harass the devotees and if he continued to stop the congregational chanting of the holy name. So he showed the marks that had been made by Lord Nrsinga's claws on his shoulder. So the Chandkazi fell to the feet of Lord Chaitanya and prayed, "Only by your mercy have my bad intentions vanished." He promised to Lord Chaitanya, "To as many descendants that take birth in my dynasty in future, I give this grave admonition: no one should check the Harinam Sankirtan movement." Since that day, nobody disturbed the devotees anymore in their chanting. And here is a pastime of Lord Chaitanya. One day, as Lord Chaitanya was going through the jungles of the Jharikanda forest, he was singing the holy name. All the wild animals that resided in the jungles, the lions, the tigers, the snakes, the deer, the elephants, the birds, all of them, when they heard the chanting of the holy name, they became ecstatic. And they also started dancing and chanting, and there was no enmity between the tiger and the deer, no fright. They all became filled with love for Krishna. And so the Lord proved that by congregational chanting and glorifying of the name of the Lord, even the wild animals can live in peace and friendship. What to speak of men who are supposed to be civilized? So the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the only way It's the only way in which peace can be achieved, because the holy name is so potent. It purifies the heart of the one who is chanting, and it awakens the dormant love for God that we have, the dormant love for Krishna that is there in our heart, but which has somewhat become covered by dust, the dust of material life, the dust of taking birth so many millions of times in this material world. And when we chant the holy name, we are clearing the mirror of our heart from this contaminating dust. And that's when we can understand our position as a servant of the Supreme Lord, not as an enjoyer. So the only way we can achieve peace in society is if we all chant the holy name of the Lord. And this pastime here is a very interesting pastime. It illustrates how we can all, by chanting, glorifying the Lord, live in peace. So Lord Chaitanya, so we know that Krishna left so many instructions in the Bhagavad Gita for us. Lord Chaitanya, however, he left not many instructions. He left only 8 verses called the Shikshastakam, in which his mission and precepts are revealed. The Shikshastakam has 8 verses, but because of time restrictions, we'll just look at 2 of the verses, the first 2 verses, which actually capture the instructions, the most important instructions. So in text 1 of the Shikshastakam, Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam shreyaha kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadhu jivanam anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipadam purnamritas vadanam sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Nam Akari Bahudha Neja Sarva Shakti Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdevam Idrisham Ihajani Nanuragaha. So the translation for these beautiful verses goes, glory to the Shri's Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Lord Chaitanya says, "O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. These are not even hard and fast. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them." So that is Lord Chaitanya in the form of a devotee calling out to Krishna. So the Lord makes a few points that there are no hard and fast rules for chanting these names. And they're very, very easy. So all we need to do is vibrate our tongue. Whereas in previous yugas, the mode of the yuga dharmas were different. So we know in the Satya Yuga, the way people could achieve perfection in life was to carry out tapasya. So that time people had a very long lifespan, and they had to carry out austerities for thousands of years. But in this age of Kali, we don't have to carry out austerity. We don't need to go to the forest. We don't need to sit on deer skin. We solely need to utter, just vibrate our tongue and chant the holy names of Krishna. So this is actually the Kali Yuga is the best yuga of all yugas, of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, or Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga is the best age because in this age it's so easy. The method to achieve perfection of our life is so easy. In this age, compared to the other ages, it's the age of misery. It's the age where we can call out to the Supreme Lord with much higher intensity than, say, the people of Satya Yuga. Because in Satya Yuga, everyone had virtuous qualities. The miseries were relatively less. So people can call out with such intensity to the Lord, worship the Lord with such intensity, with such a mood of surrender. In this age, because of all the miseries that come our way, we are able to call out to the Lord with greater intensity, with a sense of urgency and helplessness. So Kali Yuga is, although it's an ocean of darkness, this ocean of faults, hypocrisy, we can still, there's still a good point about Kali Yuga, a good point that we can achieve progress by chanting the holy name. So, as I already mentioned, we can delve into the beautiful pastimes of the Lord, learn more about Him, and get an appreciation of His teachings through all these books that we looked at. So I hope that everybody can chant with faith and chant with devotees the holy name of the Lord and achieve perfection of life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Shri Panchatattva, Jai Shri Shri Gaura Nitai, Jai Srila Prabhupada.